I'm going to talk about the difference between self-love and selfish. I feel that a lot of people actually misunderstand, and they have this confusion inside them that, hey, if I love myself, does it mean that I'm selfish? And then thus a lot of people do not dare to do that. If even some of them, they do that, but they feel guilty, for loving themselves. So I feel it's important, to differentiate between self-love versus selfish. I would say the first most important thing, for either self-love or selfish, is one common thing, is they are all self-centered. So if you only apply this first thing, it means that every decision you make, it all starts with you first, then it's very easy for you to really fall into the trap of just being selfish. Okay? So there's a second criteria to self-love that actually selfish doesn't have. Is the ability to create a win-win situations. And from the perspective of selfish, there's no such thing. It's only self-centered. So I'm going to give you some examples, to distinguish between self-love and selfish. So imagine that if you are in a difficult situations when you have to make a certain decisions, a lot of time people struggles, there are two types of people, okay? One is they're just selfish. They just think for what is me, what is my need, what do I want? And that's about it, Another second type of person is, what do you want? What do you need? I will just compromise who I am, to just comply to your needs, and that is the second type of people. So these two types, are different. They respond very differently. The second type, when you comply to another person, that is when you need to learn about self-love. Okay? Because for you to start thinking to be self-centered, then you will feel that it's a very selfish act. Because you feel like, hey, you should concern for others, first. So, but self-love is a concept of you have to bring that questions to yourself first. By doing, certain things, by making certain decisions, are you comfortable about it? Do you feel good about doing that or helping someone or doing something for someone first? First is about you. You have to really feel good. If not, you can be helping another person, but you sharing that, bad vibration to them. It's because inside you just feel like, hey, I just want to finish this fast so that I can go home. Actually, I don't want to do this, but since you ask me for help, so I have no other choice but to comply. So on the surface, you may feel, the person may see like you are actually helping the person, but the person is not stupid, because the person can actually feel unconsciously, what you are truly feeling inside you. And that kind of help is not really helping or servicing another person. You are just sharing bad vibes to another person. So it is important, it's critically important. If you just learn about self-love, it's important, to ask yourself, are you comfortable doing that thing? Are you comfortable? If you are comfortable doing that thing, then you go ahead and do it. And what if you may say, hey, what if I'm not comfortable? That is when you already ask yourself, yes, you say you are not comfortable, then you have to move on to the second step. How to create a win-win situations. If I were you, I would say, hey, I'm not comfortable, or doing this or that, is there something that we can do in between that can still help you and yet I'm comfortable? Communication is important when it comes to create a win-win situations, because by doing that, you are not just prioritizing yourself, you're also prioritizing others as well. But it starts with you. It must be important. The idea of self-love, it starts with you first, because only by loving yourself, by feeling comfortable doing things, that is outside of your capacity at that moment of time, you feel it, hey, it's not a compromise, it's not a sacrifice, but I feel that I still have the capacity to give a little bit extra. You feel good about it, then you go ahead. If you don't feel good about it, you communicate and find where is the balance, between helping others, contributing to others and contributing to yourself. So that actually helps, you to differentiate between self-love and selfish. So if you're already a self-centered person, then you need to learn how to create a win-win situations. Remember the first type of person that you only think about me, about what I want, what I need, is all about you only. Maybe you just heard about self-love, then you feel it's about selfish. No, it's not. It's different, because you have to come to the second part of the process, where are you creating a win-win situations, for everything around you, for everyone around you. That will make you not just a self-centered person. That will also give you the sense of empathy and compassion, for people around you. That will make you a much more balanced person. That is how a self-love can actually transform you and transform the relationships around you. Thank you for tuning in.